it seems like Titanic is a major turning point.
Like that's his. I wouldn't say it's his. I'm not sure if it's his biggest movie since Avatar like outgrossed it, but it seems like his most iconic movie. Like that's the one he won the Oscar for. That's the one where it's like no one thought it would work and then it did in spades. You know.
And even though Avatar made more money, Titanic actually sold more tickets.
See, I'm not so sure about that because when I think of Jim Cameron, I still think of him as the Aliens and Terminator guy. Yes, for sure, Avatar and Titanic made boatloads of money, pun intended. But as far as how I characterize him and his style, I can't help but not see him as a sci-fi guy, and that's why I return to Terminator and Aliens. I don't know, maybe that's just me.
No, that makes sense.
But obviously he's successful. Well, Avatar sci-fi, right?
Right. Yeah.
But obviously he made great success with Titanic. I think Titanic was successful because he brought his style into that, and if it was a different director, Titanic would not have been as successful. It would have been.
It wouldn't have happened.
Oh yeah,
because that was all him.
Yeah, but even the way he put it together, it was completely Jim Cameron. And if someone like Ridley Scott or something did Titanic, it wouldn't have been as successful, I don't believe.
Oh no, yeah. Well, one of the reasons I think why Titanic is so compelling is that it feels so much like a sci-fi director's take on romantic melodrama. Like imagine if like like a filmmaker whose focus was drama did that movie, who made a lot of movies about tragic love stories. They wouldn't have like captured like the wondrousness of the horror of the spectacle the way he would have. I mean, that's I think like the love story in that movie is important, but I think it works in conjunction with just the epicness of the ship going down and the water surging, through the corridors and tearing the doors off their hinges. I mean, another director wouldn't have gone that far, I think.
On the note of Titanic, these days I can't watch the entire film anymore. I kind of split it in two. I skip the entire first part, and I just go straight to the second scene.
I get that. Like you need, it's. I don't want to say it's bad writing, like the first half, because I appreciate that it's a movie it's building up to this disaster, and he gives it like an hour of screen time, 90 minutes of screen time, to the ship sinking.
Yeah.
But he gives the other half to learning about these characters and learning about like their world and building romance, and they actually spend time together, and you see the romance build, and you see them have fun together, and I liked that. I appreciate that. I don't think I need to see that more than once. I think if I ever watch Titanic again, I probably won't sit and watch it start to finish, but if it comes on TV and we're at the halfway marker, I'll click over there and watch the ship sink again.
He did the destruction scenes flawlessly.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, yes.
He deserved the Oscar for that.
Outstanding.
I remember watching it for the first time, and like the beginning scenes, and Bill Paxton's underwater, with the robot sub. I was like, why am I watching this? I watched this for Kate and Leo, and then I realized that like those early scenes, they're almost deliberately bland, because the moment when they cut into the past and you see the ship for the first time, you spent so much time like wading through this kind of like mundane modern day stuff, that when you get to this glorious romanticized vision of this beautiful ship and this tragic love story, it's like this huge breath of fresh air. And I think there's definitely pitfalls with his excessive or perhaps to put it more delicately, liberal use of screen time. but it has a certain power too, like making you wait.
I think that too. That's definitely there. I'd agree, but it's also it was deliberate. I was reading up on the movie, and I think it was Bill Paxton is sort of the audience surrogate. He's the one who looks back on the Titanic and just sees it as like a thing that happened. not really thinking about the human consequences of it.
Right.
And that's sort of something James Cameron wanted to rectify, was to get people to think about all those people, like 2,000 people, 1,000 people, something like that, who died
Yeah.
because of this event.
Yeah.
It's probably his, in terms of this theme of pessimism for technology, it's probably his big statement because of how strong he put that human element in it. Like you were saying in the first part of it,
Right.
It adds to the drama of the tragedy. It adds to it. You can't. The film wouldn't work obviously without the first part, without the first half of the film. But altogether, it's probably his strongest statement, more so than Terminator, Aliens, Avatar.
It's kind of, I don't know, like it's also, I think it's his longest film too, and I think also his most exhausting probably. Like it's
Yeah.
They definitely he said that like his earlier movies had gone over budget before. Titanic was the one that not only started off with a big budget, it went way higher than what the studios initially thought it would be.
from 110 million to 200 million, I think. I mean,
And it made it all back.
yeah.
And then some, and then some.
Yeah.
And I think, like that hugeness is why it's such a strong statement. I mean, it just, you feel like, you've, this is kind of an inapt metaphor, but, watching it's like, by the time you finish, it's almost like you're not the same person, because you've gone on such a journey.
It was a cultural phenomenon.
Yeah,
I recall
yeah.
when it first came out.
Absolutely.
And what year did it come out? 97?
97.
Right, yeah.
So I was 7 when that came out, so I knew it was a big thing.